Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. The AMD Radeon RX 6500 XT is the best new graphics card you can buy for under $200 in the summer of 2022. However, it may not be the right choice if you're looking for a sub $200 graphics card in the summer of 2022. Today, we're going to cover this card in detail and compare it to your other options. This is Fortnite running at over 100 frames per second, perfectly playable without issue. The 1% load does drop down to 40 by the end of the battle, however the average was 133 frames per second, and as you can see here, it was over 100 most of the time. Having said all of this, what would you say if I told you this was running at 4K epic detail? You'd call me crazy, and normally you'd be right. However, this is in performance mode, which overrides all of that and sets the render resolution and detail settings low enough to provide great performance. I've got more test results for you and a comparison to other cards later in this video. Today's video is brought to you by eWin Racing, the best source for gaming chairs and desks for those long gaming sessions. We have a playlist of our eWin chair and desk videos linked in the video description below. Save 30% off of everything using the discount code TechDeals. More details at the end of the video. Under $200, you effectively have 4 GPU choices today: the RX 6400, the 6500 XT, the GTX 1630, and the GTX 1650. Now, the 6400 is a cut-down version of the 6500 XT, offering 20% slower performance for the price of a pizza. The GTX 1650 isn't bad, but it's still slower than the 6500 XT, and it tends to cost more. The GTX 1630 isn't even worth discussing. It is so bad. The 6-year-old 1050 Ti beats the 1630 in some games. NVIDIA should be embarrassed launching that travesty of a card for over $150. Had it been priced under $100, it would actually be worth a serious look. That leaves us with the RX 6500 XT as the best sub $200 card you can buy today. Or rather, I should say the best new card. Because of course, if you can find a steal of a deal on a used card, that may be a better way to go. As an example, the 2016 GTX 1070 runs Anno 1800 at 116 frames per second average at 1080p high detail. The RX 6500 XT, by comparison, runs it at 77 average. There are multiple GTX 1070 cards for sale on eBay today for under $200. They are 50% faster on average than the RX 6500 XT. They have 8 gigabytes of VRAM versus 4 and runs the same on Gen 3 versus Gen 4 motherboards, given that the 1070 uses all 16 of the PCI Express lanes in the slot versus only 4 lanes on the 6500 XT. The only downside is the power consumption. The 1070 uses on average 150 watts, versus 100 watts on the 6500 XT. But if you're okay with that, and you're okay with a used GPU that may or may not have spent the past 2+ years cryptocurrency mining, buy the used card to get better all-around performance. What are some other cards with superior performance to the RX 6500 XT? Let's take a look at Horizon Zero Dawn. In the upper left-hand corner, we have the 6500 XT providing respectable performance at 61 frames per second. In the upper right-hand corner, however, we have the RX Vega 56, released 5 years ago in 2017, providing 82 frames per second. In the lower left corner, we have the RTX 2060, released 4 years ago in 2018, providing 96 frames per second. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the, at this point, very old GTX 980 Ti, released 7 years ago in 2015, providing 70 frames per second. The RTX 2060 and Vega 56 are currently selling for just over $200 on eBay. The 1070 and the 980 Ti are closer to $150. I wouldn't actually buy a 980 Ti in 2022, it's more of an example of how well top-of-the-line cards age than anything else. The 1070 was the deal when it was new at $450 in 2016. It would have cost you $50 per year to own it over the past 6 years, and it still provides 83 frames per second in Horizon Zero Dawn. At this point, some of you may be asking, I thought this video was meant to sell me on the 6500 XT. It sounds like it isn't that great. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm trying to help you be a more informed buyer so you get value for your hard-earned money. The GTX 1070 is objectively a better GPU in almost every way versus the 6500 XT. Having said that, keep in mind it's not really a fair comparison. A 1070 is likely 6 years old. It may have been used in a hot case with poor airflow, run 24/7 without care by somebody who doesn't know any better, versus a brand new 6500 XT that doesn't have any of those problems. So keep that in mind when considering the performance differences. One more thought to consider. The 1070 is at the end of its life. The 40 series is about to launch, making this card 3 generations old. NVIDIA will continue to release drivers for it for a little while, but that doesn't mean game-optimized drivers will continue to come. Future games are likely to run worse over time due to a lack of attention from the driver teams. This is also why I wouldn't buy a 980 Ti today, even if the price were really good, because it already has stopped getting game-optimized drivers, and it likely will have all driver support end next year in 2023 when it is 9 years old. What if you want better performance than the 6500 XT, but you don't want a 6-year-old used GPU? Spend $120 more and buy the RX 6600. It has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, it is 30% faster than the 1070, it is 80% faster than the 6500 XT, and it can be had brand new for under $300. If you can remotely afford it, it is 100% worth it over any of the used GPUs I've shown so far, much less the 6500 XT, even for $168. This is 66% more money for 80% more performance, double the VRAM, and brand new technology that will be supported for years to come. Now let me show you some side-by-side comparisons of the same game tested on the 6500 XT at different detail settings to show you what is possible. The goal here is to find playable performance, which often won't be at high detail, but at some combination of lower settings. Cyberpunk 2077 is a challenging game to run. However, you can somewhat have your cake and eat it too. On the left side of the screen is 1080p high detail. Performance is terrible at just 35 frames per second. On the right side of the screen is 1080p low detail, but with high textures. Performance is nearly double at 61 frames per second. The world detail isn't as sharp, but it's worth it given the overall performance improvement. The other big improvement is in the 1% lows. 24 to 37 is a 54% improvement. At this level, that is a game changer for playability. Overwatch 2 is still in beta as this was filmed. However, it is now in open beta for those who pre-purchased it, so here it is at epic detail on the left, high detail on the right. The difference is massive, and for a competitive shooter, well worth the drop in detail for the improved responsiveness. 185 frames per second average at high versus 73 frames per second average at epic, more than double the performance. To be fair, this is a beta, so your mileage may vary, of course. The 1% low did not improve as much. However, these were live gameplay recordings with real-time server interaction and deaths and respawns, so lower 1% numbers are to be expected. Finally, I said the 6400 was a cut-down 6500 XT. Here is Shadow of the Tomb Raider on both cards, side by side. The 6400 is on the left with an average of 55 frames per second. The 6500 XT is on the right with an average of 65 frames per second. That's an 18% improvement for an $18 difference. It really is an easy choice if you can otherwise accept the 6-pin PCI Express power cable requirement. One more thing. It wouldn't be fair to call this a review of the 6500 XT without providing a lot of benchmarks. So here is a chart with 18 games tested at 1080p high detail. Many of these actually run pretty well, all things considered. Anno 1800 averages 77 frames per second. Call of Duty Modern Warfare hits 57 average, and that is in multiplayer on a live server. F1 2020 runs like a champ at 173 frames per second, and Far Cry New Dawn is completely respectable at 85. Even Watch Dogs Legion hits 62, which surprises me a bit, so if you really can't go higher than the 6500 XT, you can find detail settings that will work for most games. Here is the 1% low chart in the same 18 games. I won't read all the numbers to you other than to say half of these are pretty bad. Setting detail to low or medium fixes most of them, but that's a compromise choice you'll have to make for yourself. What I don't have for you are tests on the GTX 1630 and the 1650. There are two reasons for that. I didn't buy the 1630 as it's a terrible value at $160 for the least expensive version on Newegg, and I sold my 1650 6 months ago when I made the decision to no longer test or recommend 4GB graphics cards. Yes, I can hear you all now, but Tech, you're testing and reviewing the 6400 and 6500 XT. How does that work? Great question, glad you asked. With the end of the GPU shortage and the launch of these cards under $200, I felt that our audience would appreciate a review of something that wasn't premium priced for a change. The past 18 months has been 3090 this and 6800 XT that. Due to the shortages, it made sense at the time, but I do understand how that approach gets really old after a while if you're not in the position to spend $1,000 or more on a graphics card. Please, if you have any means to do so, spend the $250 to $300 to get an RX 6600 over the 6500 XT. It's about $100 more at the time of filming, and it is worth every penny. Expect that review to come soon. One more thing. Not everyone wants to play Cyberpunk 2077 or Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Released in 2017, it is not brand new, but it isn't a decade old either. This is 1080p ultra detail playing in a multiplayer co-op battle on a live server. This battle averaged 112 frames per second with a 68 1% low. It looks good, plays well, and needs nothing better than the 6500 XT to provide an awesome gaming experience. While that would also be true on an older card like the GTX 1060, if you don't have one of those, or you need something brand new, then you've come to the right place. There are thousands upon thousands of games just like Battlefront 2 that will play all day long at 1080p, max detail at 100 frames per second, all released in the past half dozen years. You can buy and play them for almost nothing. $168 for the 6500 XT. 3 to 6 year old games can often be had for a few dollars each on sale, or as part of the Humble Bundle monthly game collection, or even given away on the Epic Game Store for free. If money is tight and you want to game for very little money, I wouldn't turn my nose up at something like this. eWin Racing has a wide selection of chairs to fit all shapes and sizes of gamers, ranging from petite to cuddly. They have something for every type of gamer. Not just sizes, but colors and material options as well, including red, blue, purple, pink, orange, and more, plus cloth and leather choices. We have over half a dozen chair and desk videos in a playlist down in the video description below. We also have a very special offer just for Tech Deals viewers. Save 30% off of everything using discount code TechDeals using our link in the video description. We have used eWin gaming chairs for 3 years in our office, sitting on them for up to 8-hour marathon live streams. They are very comfortable, and we are happy to work with eWin to bring you this special discount and recommend eWin for all of your gaming chair and desk needs. Thank you all so much for watching to the very end of this video. 2 gold stars for all of you still here. Like this video if you like it, share it with your friends if you love it. Remember to subscribe to the channel with the big huge red button directly below. Questions, comments, thoughts, feedback, suggestions, you know where the comment section is. Links in the video description below to a variety of things, including this card new on Amazon and Newegg, the 6600 to Amazon and Newegg, and some used cards to eBay. Those are affiliate links. Using those supports the channel at no extra cost to you. If you like this content and you want to consciously support us without actually spending any extra money, clicking those links before buying anything at those sites is a great way to do so, and it is super appreciated. If you wish to consciously support us directly, hit the join button next to the subscribe button. For $2 per month, you get a variety of benefits. For $5 a month, you get even more benefits. Details, when you click that button, it comes up on the screen with all those details. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. I will see all of you next time. Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. The AMD Radeon RX 6500 XT graphics card is the bet. Part 7, Take 4. Under $200, you effectively have 4 GPU choices today. Part 7, Take 5. That leaves us with the RX 6500 XT as the best sub $200 card you can buy today. Or I should 150 watts average on the 1070 versus 100 watts on the 6500. The RTX 2060 and the Vega 56 are currently selling for just over $200 on eBay. I should have the GTX 1070 here. What if you want better performance than the 65? Oh, you know what? I should put them side by side. What I don't have for you are tests on the GTX 1316. 3 to 5 year old games that can often be had for only a few dollars each on sale as part of the Humble Bundle. Epic Games giving store away. Well, I just butchered that. Read the words that are on the screen. You wrote them. But I'm a creative and I want to ad-lib my words. What do you think you are? The MC at the Oscars? Why, yes, thank you. I'm Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal was always a good MC of the Oscars. I'm dating myself. 3 to 6 year old games that can often be had for a few dollars each on sale or as part of the Humble Bundle. Dang it! Oh, I was doing so good too. I'm part of the Humble Bundle monthly game collection. Just a side note, if you guys all are not Humble Choice members, why? It's like $100 a year or something, and you get like 150 games. At least 1 or 2 are like really good AAA games, just 1 or 2 years old. The amount of money I've saved with Humble Bundle. Oh my goodness. Join. And you can give away the codes individually to your friends if you don't want every game. Best deal in the world. Okay, let's try this again. Part 32, take... I've lost track now. Take lots of takes. Yes! Finally. 16 takes.